Hello and welcome to today's video. My name is Joanna. If you're new here, welcome. On today's video, I want to share with you some of my favorite things about living in New York City. I previously made a video sharing what I hated about this city, so it is only fair for me to balance it out and do a positive one, telling you what I love about the city. There's a reason why people call New York City the greatest city in the world, because it truly is great. So today I want to share with you my reasons to why I think New York City is so perfect. Before I begin, please consider subscribing to the channel, like this video, comment down below, say hello, tell me how your day is going. Have you been to New York City? Help boost the algorithm, which will help the channel grow. So, with no further ado, here are the best parts about living in New York City. Starting with diversity. As a woman of color, diversity is really important to me. I love going out and meeting new people from all walks of life, different nationalities, different beliefs and customs. I remember when I first moved to New York City, I met a girl from California who grew up in a cult, and we became really good friends. And she was so fascinating to me because that world was completely different from what I was used to. So here we both were in New York City following a similar dream, and I honestly don't think we would have met outside of New York or even became friends. But here we both were. New York City brought us together, and that's what's so beautiful about New York City. There is so much diversity. Diversity is what makes this world so beautiful, and there is plenty of it in New York. Next, we have the food in New York City. The good thing about living in a diverse city is that because we are so diverse, your food options will always be different. You want to try Peruvian food? I know a great spot in Queens. You want to try Turkish food instead? There's a great restaurant in Midtown Manhattan. You will never be bored or run out of options when it comes to food and restaurants in New York City. Next, we have transportation. New York City is home to the Metropolitan Transportation Authority, also known as the MTA. They run the trains here in New York City. And in my previous video, I did say that I hated the MTA, which I do because they have their issues. But the best part about them is that they keep the trains running 24/7. So you'll always have a way to get home because there's always a train running. And if you don't want to take the train, you can just come outside, catch the bus, or you can just get a yellow cab because there's always a cab running around in the city. So you don't really need to get a car if you live in New York City because the trains run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The trains are not the only thing that operate 24 hours a day, which brings me to my next favorite part about living in the city, which are the 24-hour bodegas and restaurants. A bodega is a corner store where you can get anything: food, beer, cleaning supplies, you name it. So if at 3 a.m. you have a headache and you don't have any Advil, Tylenol, and all the pharmacies are closed, you can just walk to a nearby bodega and grab yourself a Tylenol. Or if you're having a party and you're running out of beers and it's 4 a.m., you can go to a bodega and get yourself some beers. And not just bodegas, we have 24-hour diners. So if you're out late or you're working until like 3 or 4 in the morning and you want to grab yourself a sandwich or some pancakes, you can just go to a diner and get yourself some food. Everything in New York City closes late. If you're a party person, clubs and bars here close around 4 a.m. and there's always an after party to go to. I know in some places the bars and clubs close 1 a.m. or 2 a.m., but not in New York City. Another thing that I love is that there is always something to do in New York City. You can never be bored living here because there's always an event happening. There's new places opening up in every borough. There's tons of activities happening every day, and there's tons of social groups you can join. So you'll always have something to do or something to see. And one of my favorite things to do here in the city is going to brunch and happy hour. Sunday brunch is pretty big in New York. A lot of places have brunch specials and brunch parties where you could get unlimited mimosas all afternoon and just have a good time. Or if Sunday is not your thing, you can go to happy hour, which happens during the week. Happy hour happens after work, like between 4 and 7 during the weekdays. A lot of bars have happy hour specials, which just means the drinks are cheaper. So you can just go after work, hang out with your coworkers, or just have your friends meet you at a bar during happy hour and have a good time. Next, we have the art scene. The art scene in New York is huge. We have Broadway, we have comedy, we have museums, and we have so much more. If you're a creative person or you just love the art scene and theater, There is no better place to experience it than New York City. And finally, one of my favorite things about living in New York City is that you can get a job here pretty fast. You can get a job anywhere. I remember when I first moved to New York, I got a job within a week. So if you're thinking of moving to New York City and you're nervous about like, oh, how am I gonna make money? How am I gonna find a job? Don't be nervous. You'll be okay because you can get a job here pretty fast. So those were my favorite things about living in New York City. If you've been to New York City, comment down below, tell me, or if you live here, comment down below, tell me your favorite parts about the city. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to subscribe. I post videos every week, so I hope to see you next week. See ya. There is a reason, no. Before we begin, please don't, Jesus. The next